Welcome back, everybody. I got a different plaid hat this time, even though it's late summer. It's definitely not cold enough to be wearing this. Kind of like Cousin Eddie from Christmas Vacation, but it is plaid, as you can see. So if I get a little warm, I'm going to reserve the right to take it off. Anyway, today we're going to talk about Oktoberfest, which you may know has been canceled this year because of the stuff. But that doesn't stop us from drinking Oktoberfest beer, talking about German license plates. So that's what we're going to do. So let's talk about beer. Um, Oktoberfest, Munich, Germany. You've heard of it. They drink a lot of beer. And they drink out of what is called a Mass. I think it's Mass. I don't speak German. I think we'll call it a Mass, kind of halfway between. And it looks like this. It holds 1 liter of beer, which is 33.8 freedom ounces. And this is the fill line right here. This is the 1 liter line. And I don't know that you probably can't see. There's a little 1L on here. Right there. You can just make it out. Anyway, and the Germans, you may know, are serious about their beer. You can actually be prosecuted for fraud if the Mass doesn't have a fill line or if it's not accurate. So, serious business. Oktoberfest, even though it happens mostly in September, it ends the first Sunday of October. That's why they call it Oktoberfest. So this particular Mass bears the logo, as many of these do, of Polaner, which is a brewery in Munich. And they are one of the 6 breweries that make beer for Oktoberfest. I can't keep wearing this. I'm sorry. I can't even take myself seriously. I look ridiculous. Anyway, it's just stupid. So yes, one of the 6 breweries that brews the beer at Oktoberfest. And the cool thing about this is you can actually buy these. I bought this locally, and it's when you buy the mug, it comes with an equally large can that just sits inside of here. But since I already had the mug from a previous year, I just bought a 4-pack of these. This is the Polaner Oktoberfest beer, which is, I would assume, the same thing you would get if you were able to go to Oktoberfest this year. Since this is 16.9 ounces. So I don't know. My math is correct. 2 of these ought to fill that thing. So that's what we're going to do. And you know how this works. We're going to, there's the logo. You know what the logo looks like. You've seen it. So pour the one. If I was really talented, I would pour them both at the same time. But you've seen me pour beer. You know that's not true. I'm not that talented. So while I'm pouring it, I can tell you that the actual Oktoberfest beer is like the style of beer is a Märzen, which I'll put on the screen so you can see how it's spelled. But it's kind of a lager, and it can vary. Oh, brother, see, you knew this was going to happen, didn't you? Really? I mean, we all could have predicted this. It's a type of lager. The color can really vary from pale to dark. I don't know how this is pretty pale. Jeez. So color varies. This one's pale. Yeah, that's really going to take a while to settle down, isn't it? So what we're going to do is we're going to cheat, and we're going to go right to the plates, and we're going to come back to the beer. Hey, you got to do what you got to do. So from the largest mug I have, and I should actually, the Mass is not a Stein, because a Stein has to be made out of stoneware and also hold a liter of beer. So it's not a Stein. You could call it a mug, but I'll just keep calling it a Mass because that's what it is. Anyway, the biggest vessel I have to put beer in will go to the largest license plate in my collection, which happens to be German. This is a German export license plate from a region of Germany that I'm not even going to try and pronounce, but it's a pretty large license plate. This here, because the rest of the world puts their dates in logical order, day, month, year. This is the 9th of August, 2002, when this would have expired. And I'll show you that seal. If you want to try and pronounce it, you go ahead. I'm not going to do that. So, just to give you an idea of the size of this thing, here's a regular German license plate, regular Euro size. So that kind of lines up like that. So by area, I'm not going to do measurements, but this one's a little bit bigger. The export plate is just a regular. And I can't remember where this is from. I should have looked it up before I came out, but we're actually really talking about this. And kind of a bonus just to show you relative to a US plate. This isn't a real actual license plate. It's kind of what we call like a booster plate. But so that's how much bigger than a regular North American plate it is. And I chose this because old Rudolph invented the diesel engine. That was his name, Rudolph Diesel. And he was German, so it makes sense. Anyway, that's the quick thing about the largest license plate I have. Now we're going to go back to the largest vessel for beer that I have because I can pour the rest of it in. And there we go. Sweet. So when I say drink responsibly, mostly deals with just not drinking and driving. I mean, it's probably not healthy to have 6 or 7 beers in a sitting, but if you're at home in your living room and you're not going anywhere, I don't know. You do you. Just don't do it and drive because that's dumb. So this is the thing. Here it is, and let's try it. Slate. I don't know what cheers is in German. I should have looked that up too, but sorry. Well, that tastes like beer, doesn't it? My palate's not sophisticated. It's actually, I should have told you that. Ooh, 6%. That's higher than I would have thought. So, wow, 6%? 1 liter of 6% beer? Yeah. You definitely want to be calling an Uber or something. Uber sounds German, doesn't it? Hmm. So it's a lager. I mean, it's very, I don't even know. It tastes like beer. And oh, by the way, the cool thing about these mosses, or I think plural is just moss. Great thing about these, a guy did some research and found that it made actually a really effective weapon. Um, I remember I should have written this down, but I think that the force needed to like crack someone's skull open was like 4,000 newtons, and this provided well over twice that. This thing empty weighs like 3 pounds. I mean, you start throwing these around, people are going to get seriously injured. So, which obviously I don't condone, but it's just kind of an interesting side fact about these things. I mean, you could really hurt somebody very badly with one if you hit them with it. So don't, don't do that. Mm. So anyway, um, it's a lager. I should say the reason it's called Märzen, it's kind of a funny thing. Way back when, hundreds of years ago, they could only brew beer from basically October through April in Germany. So what they would do is they'd brew a bunch of beer in March, and Märzen is German for March. So they would brew it in March and then kind of cellar it until Oktoberfest, and then they drink it then. So that's where the Märzen name came from. Anyway, I still haven't given you an answer on what this tastes like because I can't describe it. It's just a very easy drinking. Um, it's not really bitter. It's um, it's not super thin. It's got a little bit of a mouthfeel to it, so that's good. Um, yeah, I mean it's just very pleasant. I mean not like award winning or anything in my book, but you could definitely drink a couple of these, couple of mossfuls of that, you know. So yeah, there it is. Um, Thank you for subscribing if you have already. Um, oh, I keep forgetting things. Shout out to Cammy's Garage, because Cammy's Garage is a friend of mine, and Cam's the one that suggested an Oktoberfest since we're coming up on when it should happen. So thanks for suggesting that. If you have an idea, any of you, a beer you would like, what is that? Sorry. I hope that shows up on the camera. There was something buzzing in my ear. Um, Anybody has an idea of a beer they want to see, let me know. Or if you have a particular license plate you want to see, let me know that too. And thanks for the support. Drink responsibly. Um, I guess I've kind of fallen into a thing where I give driving tips. So my driving tip for you is, if you're turning right onto a road and there's traffic coming in your direction, put some foot in it. Give it some gas. Don't make people slow down when you pull out in front of them. As Canadians would say, give her. See ya.